Yeah, welcome back to KAMMA. I'm Khalil Deal.
Andy-O.
And we're
Hello.
KAMMA about to talk about the early predictions for the main card for UFC Fight Night Denver. Of course, it's Thug Rose Namajunas versus Tracy Cortez. We're going to talk about the fights in the main card. Just do a little rundown and then we'll get into it. So we got Cody Brundage versus Abdul Razak Al Hassan. Christian Rodriguez against Julian Erosa, Gabriel Bonfim against Angelusa, Drew Dober against Jean Silva, Santiago Ponzinibbio against Muslim Salikov, and of course the main event of the evening, Thug Rose Namajunas versus Tracy Cortez. All right, let's get right into it. I'm going to start this one off as usual. The first fight, we got Cody Brundage here versus Abdul Razak Al Hassan is the first fight of the main card. Now, I went back and forth on this one, man. These two fighters are pretty much even, man, where they've both lost 3 fights out of their last 5 fights. Abdul Razak is 5'10", Cody Brundage is 6 foot, pretty much close to the same height there, only a couple of inches taller for Cody. And we got a 1-inch reach advantage here for Abdul Razak Al Hassan. So for me, the pick is going to be Abdul Razak Al Hassan. I got to go with this guy. I just think that he's going to be too tough for Cody Brundage, man. Abdul's punches are like when he hits you, man, it's like a truck coming at you. The guy's built like a tank. He hits like a brick. His fists are incredible when he lands it. And Cody Brundage, man, this guy's chin is suspect. Lost his last fight to Bo Nickel. He got subbed there. Cody Brundage, he beat Zach Reese by knockout with that slam. And then he won. He beat Jacob Malkoun, but it was a disqualification, which was an illegal elbow to the back of the head by Jacob Malkoun. I thought that Malkoun was winning that whole fight the whole time too.
Yeah, it did nothing to him, that elbow or whatever.
Yeah, he lost to Cedricus Dumas by unanimous decision, and he got subbed by Rodolfo Vieira as well. So he's lost 3 of the last 5. The same thing on the other side. Abdul lost to Joe Pyfer by submission. Hey, Joe Pyfer is a beast, man. That's nothing to sneeze at there. He did knock out Claudio Ribeiro. He lost a split decision against Joaquin Buckley. Joaquin Buckley is really, really good. And I think Joaquin Buckley is actually better than Cody Brundage. And Abdul was able to go all the way against him and lose a split decision, which could have went either way. He did knock out Alicio Di Chirico, lost to Jacob Malkoun as well by unanimous decision. So, but I like Abdul here in this one. I got to go with Abdul. I think he's the more powerful striker. And his takedown defense is good. Cody Brundage might try to take him down. He's going to have a hard time. Abdul's going to be the bigger guy. Yes, he's a lot older at 38 years old, but he's still very, very solid, and he fights. He's still very good. Still very quick on his feet. Yeah, again, he punches super, super hard, and he's got that knockout power. Cody Brundage, man, he's 30 years old. He loves going for that guillotine, and very rarely succeeds at it. I think he's going to try to grapple with Abdul, but Abdul's going to stuff the takedowns. Abdul's going to catch him on the feet at some point during this fight, and I think Abdul gets the knockout and knocks out Cody Brundage. What do you got here, Andio?
Yeah, I got to go with Al Hassan also.
Yeah.
I think he's the more athletic guy. I think he has more power, and I would give it a second thought if his cardio was shitty, but it's really not. Like he can go like for 3 rounds. And above all else, unless Brundage gets his way in the fight or wins right away, like look, he did well against Pfeiffer in the first round. Was it? He like tossed Pfeiffer around in their fight, or was it Nickel? Who am I thinking of here?
Oh, Nickel.
Yeah, he tossed around Bo Nickel early in the fight, and he was doing kind of well until he wasn't, and he kind of gives up if things aren't working out his way. So once that part of the fight happens, I expect Abdul Razak to pounce on the opportunity and really lay it in on him, and it's going to be more of a giving up kind of knockout. I don't think he's going to flatline him or anything. But yeah, I say knockout or decision for Alisson here. Pretty confident.
Nice, same here. Finally, we are in agreement in the prelims, man. We were not in agreement, man. We were in disagreement in like 3 out of 5 fights. So hopefully, in this main card, it's looking good. Starting off with we both agree on Abdul Razak Al Hassan. All right, moving on up the card to the next fight. We have here Christian Rodriguez against Julian Erosa. Who you got here, Andy?
Yeah, here I'm gonna have to go with Christian Rodriguez, a lot younger.
Yeah.
Looks very impressive lately, man. With a like he won against Isaac Delgarian. He beat Cameron Simon, who let's face it, who's not bad unless he faces like awesome competition. And he won against Raul Rosas Jr. as well. Like this guy could be actually someone to keep an eye out on. Like I like Juicy J, but I think he's losing a couple steps in there, I find. He's been knocked out a lot of times, and I think he would rather keep this fight on the feet, Juicy J. But I don't think I think he may go for a couple takedowns as well because he has it in his pocket. But Christian Rodriguez is just super aggressive, goes for the kill and scrambles like a beast if it ever gets down there. So yeah, the picks with the younger guy, the guy moving in the right direction, and just don't trust Rose's chin all that much lately. And he's been losing lately against subcar par competition, I think. So there you go. The pick is Christian Rodriguez by knockout or decision.
All right, we are in agreement in this one. I like it, man. Looking good so far.
I'm
So,
sorry. I'm sorry. Let's just say knockout or sub. I don't
okay.
think Rose is going to last until the end.
All right. So yeah, I definitely am in agreement with you. I got Christian Rodriguez to get the win here. I definitely like Christian Rodriguez, man. Yeah, for sure. He's much younger at 26 years old compared to the 34-year-old Julian. He's going to be the shorter guy, though. He's going to be shorter by 4 inches, by 5 inches, sorry. And he's also going to have a 3.5 inch reach disadvantage as well. But Christian Rodriguez is quick on his feet, much better striker than Julian Erosa. He's got very quick hands. He's a very good boxer. Christian Rodriguez also has some grappling if it needs to go there. He did beat Isaac Dolgarian by split decision in his last fight, who's also very good. Cameron Simon, as you mentioned, he also beat Raul Rosas Jr., man, who we both know is a beast, and he's very fierce with his submissions and his grappling. So for him to beat Raul Rosas Jr., that's a really good one there, a very good win there. He also he subbed Joshua Weems as well. Lost to Jonathan Pierce. That's not a bad loss. On the other side here, we got Julian Erosa, who did sub Ricardo Ramos, but lost to Fernando Padilla by knockout, and was also knocked out by Alex Caceres. He did beat Akeem Dawodu by decision, and a split against Steven Peterson. So I definitely like what I'm seeing here with Christian Rodriguez. I think he's going to be the better fighter on the feet. I think he's going to be able to catch some good punches, land some good punches on Julian Erosa. Erosa's going to try to scramble, try to go for the takedown. I think Christian Rodriguez is going to stuff some of these takedowns. He's got decent takedown defense. I think he's going to catch Erosa with a nice punch to the chin, maybe a right hook like Padilla did, and knock his ass out. So I'm going to go for Christian Rodriguez to get the win by knockout. That's going to be the prediction for me here in this one. All right, moving on up the card to the next fight. We got here Gabriel Bonfim against Ange Loosa. Now for this one here, Ange Loosa, I got to say he's a good dog, man. This guy is a very well-rounded fighter. The guy can fight. He's going to be quite a heavy underdog here compared to Bonfim. But I mean, Bonfim.
For good reason.
Yeah, I mean, for good reason. I mean, Bonfim is just amazing. This guy, his striking is good. His grappling is good. He's got submissions. He's got powerful strikes. He's going to be 26 years old, the younger fighter against the 30-year-old Loosa. He's going to have a 2-inch height advantage on Loosa at 6'1" to 5'10". Also, he's going to have a 1.5-inch reach disadvantage there to Ange Loosa. But man, Gabriel Bonfim has been looking really, really good. Yeah, we know in his last fight, he lost his last fight there, but that was, you know what I mean? That was like, you know, some bad game planning on Gabriel Bonfim's part there.
No game planning was gonna weak Super Juice Dalby,
I
man.
mean,
It wasn't happening.
Nicholas Dalby is absolutely insane. He might just be that dude, Nicholas Dalby, man. Like this guy is just he's on something.
Definitely.
But he got knocked out by Dalby. But prior to that, he subbed Trevin Giles, he subbed Munir Lazez,
Officer
Trey
Giles. Oh,
Waters, he subbed Eduardo Garvan. So he's gotten 4 subs in a row, but then lost to Dalby because Dalby is just a, you know what I mean? He's just a freak. On the other hand, Ange Loosa, that accidental eye poke, which I thought was bullshit. I thought that Brian Battle was winning that fight.
that's why he's gonna lose the fight, bro. He's gonna lose the fight because he's a quitter like the other schmuck there before. And
Seriously.
he wanted to fight Battle after he couldn't.
Yeah, after the poke, he was like, "Yeah, let's fight." I mean, come on, buddy. Like you already fucking quit.
Wait,
You know
you
what
want
I
to
mean?
fight now? Like,
Yeah, Battle was laughing at him. I remember that fight. That was a bullshit fight, man. I had Battle to win in that one. Rice McKee, he beat him by unanimous decision. He beat AJ Flesher by unanimous decision. He did lose to Munir Lazez, and there's a common fighter, okay? And I know the MMA math, but Gabriel Bonfim sub Munir Lazez, and Ange Loosa lost to Munir Lazez. So that's something to look at. Also, he did beat John Howard in one of the lower level ex MMA events. So I got to go with Gabriel Bonfim. I think he's going to be the better fighter here. I think he's just going to have the best on Ange Loosa. I think he's going to be a little bit quicker. I think he's going to get Ange Loosa on the ground. Ange Loosa is not a bad wrestler, but I think that Bonfim is going to like scramble a bit on the ground there and to be able to get the top position, latch in a submission there. I got Gabriel Bonfim winning by submission.
yeah, Bonfim is just way too precise and aggressive, and yeah, man, just can latch on those subs with authority. And Luce is not bad. He is well-rounded, like you mentioned, but for me, that's like as far as it goes. Like he's well-rounded. He's not good, man, in like anything. So what really gets me down on this guy is just that quitting nature, you know, like barely getting poked in the eye or whatever happened in this fight and then quitting, then wanting to fight after, you know, just ridiculous, man. But he's not the worst, but he's not near the caliber of Bonfim, man. I think Bonfim is going to come back with a vengeance after losing to super juiced Dalby. So but let's go by sub.
All right, so we are in agreement in this one as well. Nice. Moving on up the card to the next fight.
All right. Hey, it's Drew Dober. Okay, we got Drew Dober and Gene Silva here. Now, this is something to think about in terms of gambling. Are we about to see the decline of Drew Dober? I think it's possible. I think it already began. He's 35 now in this weight class. Gene Silva is an animal, a beast. And I think it's very possible that Drew Dober gets knocked out again. Like Drew Dober does the same thing every fight. He's gonna get in there, trying to get in a range, take monster shots the way he does every single fight, and then try to come back and potentially get a knockout of his own. It's just that I don't think he's gonna be able to take monster shots from Gene Silva. It seems like Gene Silva fought like last weekend, even though it was a week off, but he did fight really recently. He should still be in great shape coming off that last win of his, and yeah, I think it's a great opportunity to start fading Dober and to bet against Dober because great chins don't last forever, man. And that goes for Drew Dober also. As for Gene Silva, man, he has finishing power and he's just going in the right direction. And a few fights are like that, I find, on this card. Like fighters going in the wrong direction, fighters going in the right one. And the right one's going to be Gene Silva here. Let's go by a knockout or decision.
All right, so we are in agreement again. This is looking good in the main card. I love it. I got Gene Silva to win as well. Silva's just been on a tear recently. 5-fight winning streak in the UFC. He is on his two wins in a row. If we count the Dana White's Contender Series there, where he got that win against Kevin Vallejos by unanimous decision. But then after that, knocked out Weston Wilson, knocked out Charles Jourdain, who a lot of people thought Charles Jourdain was going to have a chance to beat him there. But no, he came in there and looked really good against Charles Jourdain. Drew Dober coming off a loss against Renato Moicano, Money Moicano by unanimous decision. He also lost to Ricky Glenn. He got knocked out. No, sorry, he knocked out Ricky Glenn. He lost to Matt Vravola, where he got knocked out prior to that.
Yeah.
Beat Bobby Green by knockout and Rafael Alves by knockout. I gotta say this though, Drew Dober by finish might be something to look at in the betting. Maybe Drew Dober by knockout there. I know Gene Silva though. He has only 2 losses, and the 2 losses that he has have been both by decision. So he's never been knocked out or subbed. Okay, so it's going to be pretty hard for Drew Dober to finish Gene Silva. I think Gene Silva has the more finishing capability. If we're going to say who's going to get the who's more likely to get a finish, I think it's Gene Silva.
I'd say he has more power too.
Yeah, and he has more power than Drew Dober. Drew Dober's chin is there to be hit. It's such a big chin too that he's got there. He definitely can get clipped. I think he will get clipped in this one. I think that,
I gotta say though, I'd be a little more concerned about Silva's chances of winning this if Drew Dober was a little more shifty and had a bit better foot movement and lateral movement to avoid some of those shots. But since he doesn't, this is a pretty easy pick for me, Gene Silva.
I don't say it with the most confidence because I do like Drew Dober. He has fought some decent guys.
Who doesn't like Drew Dober?
He's a tough motherfucker, but I think Gene Silva is going to just land something on him. I think his chin is starting to decline. I think he might get clipped. We've seen Silva go down a few times, and Gene Silva, he's the type of guy that if he knocks you and he gets you down, he's going to pounce on you and keep throwing those punches.
Well, look at Jourdain, like pretty well regarded as a tough guy, that could take shots, and Silva crumbled him after the second shot, man. He was
with that uppercut. He's got some good uppercuts, Gene Silva, as well. So, and I haven't really seen Drew Dober do any kind of grappling, so there's no threat there for any wrestling or grappling on Gene Silva. So, I like Gene Silva to get the win here by knockout or decision as well. And not to mention, I forgot to mention it in the last fight, the last card where he fought. He's fighting out of Fighting Nerds, man. These guys are amazing.
That's right, Fighting Nerds. Yes,
those guys are something else, man. They're gonna come up with a good game plan for this guy.
They'll have him ready.
All right, so in agreement again with this one. Moving on up the card next, we have
Santiago Ponzinibbio against Muslim Salikhov. Take it away, Khalil.
All right, now for this one here, man, this is going to be pretty easy for me. I mean, both these guys I'm not really high on. They both have lost 3 out of their last 5 fights. But, we got the 40-year-old Salikhov there. He hasn't been looking good lately. Ponzinibbio, too, hasn't been looking good lately. But there's one thing I must mention is that Ponzinibbio can grapple, man. This guy does have a lot of good grappling. He's got some submissions. He's very good on the ground. Salikhov, man, this guy is a fish out of water on the ground. Literally can't do nothing when he gets taken down. And I have a feeling that that's what's going to happen. I think Santiago Ponzinibbio is going to take down Salikhov, get him to the ground, grapple with him a lot throughout this fight, get some ground and pound, possibly a sub. Now, in the last fight of Ponzinibbio, he did lose to Kevin Holland by knockout. But prior to that, he did knock out Alex Morono.
He was winning that fight until he got knocked out too, Ponzinibbio, I think.
True, he was doing pretty good. He did lose to Michel Pereira. Not a bad loss there to Michel Pereira by split decision, so it could have went the other way. Also, split decision loss to Jeff Neal. So those are some very good fighters there, Jeff Neal, Michel Pereira, where it went split. So
don't forget though, that's the Pereira before he went up in weight and became Super Pereira.
True. And Miguel Baeza too, he beat him by unanimous decision. Muslim Salikhov just got knocked the fuck out by Randy Brown in his last fight, man. That was a pretty bad knockout there. Nicholas Dalby also won by decision against him. He did manage to knock out Andre Fiallo, but a lot of people can knock out Andre Fiallo. His chin is gone. He did he got knocked out by Jiliang Li, and he beat Francisco Trinaldo, the old man, 3 years ago. So it looks like Muslim Salikov is on a decline. I don't see him beating Santiago in this one. I like Santiago, who's a better grappler, a better wrestler, decent on the feet too, can strike pretty well. I am worried about Salikov landing something pretty decent, but I like Ponzinibbio to win this one. He's going to have the 3-inch reach advantage, a couple inch, 1 inch height advantage, and he's going to be the younger guy. Also has more ways of winning, has the grappling edge. I'm going to go with Santiago Ponzinibbio on this one. Who you got?
Yes, Salikov, there's not much to discuss here. I really think Salikov is washed. I think he maybe his chin maybe gone too now. He looks really slow with the exception of his kicks. I guess that's the only worry here is if he catches Ponzinibbio with some crazy roundhouse kick, catches him by surprise and knocks him out right there. But on the flip side, Ponzinibbio is known for his toughness, you know? So even if Salikov catches him with something, think he's going to wobble him up or something, but I think Ponzinibbio is going to recover and just do what he does. Pressure, go for the takedowns, weaken Salikov, tire him out. And I say probably we're going to see a knockout or decision victory here.
Yeah, I mean, I got Ponzinibbio winning. I don't know about knockout or decision. I think that let me see. Out of his 29 wins, Ponzinibbio, he has 6 submissions, 16 knockouts, 7 decisions. Very hard to figure out how he's going to win. I'm going to lean more towards a sub or a knockout. I think a finish is in play here, either KO or submission here at this one.
Okay.
All right, we made it to the main event of the evening: Thug Rose Namajunas versus Tracy Cortez.
Yes. So Thug Rose here. This is a 5-round fight, by the way. It wasn't known immediately, like whether it was 3 or 5, but it turns out it is 5. And that's one of the reasons I'm going to be picking Rose Namajunas in this fight. Tracy Cortez, man, not the most active of fighters, fights like 1 time a year and like just so hard and goes through all of this trouble as if Rose doesn't, you know. But the only thing here with Rose, her stinker with Carla Esparza, one of the worst fights of all time. But other than that, she's looked very well, looked very good. She's fought the best of the best for a long, long time, and I think she still has stuff left in the tank, man. I believe Cortez would have to use her wrestling. She's going to be slower on the feet as well as have poorer striking. I don't think she's going to be able to submit Rose. I don't think she's going to be able to finish Rose, knock her out in any way. Her only hope's a decision, but I think Rose is going to get better as this fight goes along. Potentially finish Tracy at the end before the fight's over, but I feel it probably should go to decision for Rose. So that's going to be my call. Rose by decision. Oh,
all right.
Let's not forget that Tracy Cortez cannot strike and cannot finish, right? Like that ain't happening. So you can take both those off the table, right? So we're going with decision for Cortez or not. That's the call.
For real, I mean, Tracy Cortez has literally no finishing ability, man. All of her wins have been by decision. You could see that the majority of her wins are always by decision. A decision against Vanessa Mello, a decision against Edgar, Justine Kish, and that was a split too against Justine Kish, who's not that great. A decision against Melissa Gatto, and Jasmine Jasudavicius. On the other hand, here, Thug Rose, she won a unanimous decision against Amanda Ribas, who I think is really good. Did lose to Manon Fiorot, but Manon Fiorot is very powerful. She's a beast in that division. Carla Esparza, that was a bullshit fight.
One of those fights, yeah.
But she did beat Weili Zhang, the champ, by split decision, and also knocked out Weili Zhang. So she beat Weili Zhang 2 times, man. That's something to remember. People forget about that. Yeah, the pick is Thug Rose. I love this one, man. In the main card, me and you, we are in agreement with all of the fights on the main card. Looking good. Thug Rose is the pick, man. I think that Tracy Cortez is going to try to take down Thug Rose. I like the way Thug Rose's takedown defense. She ends up like she has a way of sprawling where when they go to take her down, she moves back and sprawls down, so her legs go back. and she goes down with the fighter. So she kind of like keeps her hands in front of her and takes the fighter down, so the fighter can't really take her down. And then she's really good at takedown defense, I find. And on the ground, Thug Rose can grapple, man. She can scramble on the ground. She's got submissions. She knows how to wrestle. She knows how to do her thing on the ground too. And I find she's the better striker. I think she punches harder. She's more precise. I think she's a more technical striker than Tracy Cortez.
Rose at her, yeah, man. Rose at her best is very good.
Yeah, not to mention Tracy Cortez bruises easily. She cuts easily. You'll see that in this fight. She gets cut up easily when you land some punches on her face. She cuts up and bruises easily. So that's one thing to look out for there.
Not only that, like she has such a big head that there's more of an opportunity to get cut up and bruised on it.
Oh yeah, I mean, the Thug Rose is going to be able to land some good punches on her. These girls are exactly identical as far as height and reach. No need to even go there. The year, I mean, they're pretty much the same, 30, 32. I mean, Thug Rose is still very young and in her prime. I really think that Thug Rose is going to get the win here. I think she's just going to be too much for Tracy. Just going to be the better fighter, and she has a little bit more slickness to her. And her ground game, I think, is a bit more slicker. The submission game is a bit more slicker, and the striking. So all around, she's better in every category than Tracy.
I don't recommend her staying underneath Tracy for too much of this fight, like if she can avoid it. But yeah, man, I think really if she
Tracy Cortez though, she doesn't have any submissions. When she gets you on the ground.
No, but I'm just saying if like, you know, she gets more ground control time for 2-3 rounds and next to nothing else, but the judges see that as some sort of great accomplishment, I'm afraid it could be a robbery or something, you know?
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, out of the 11 wins, okay, Tracy Cortez, look at this. She has one knockout, one sub, and 9 decisions. You know what I'm saying? So the finish potential is just not there. Thug Rose has a lot of good finishing potential. We got to go with Thug Rose here. And there you have it, folks, man. We have finished the early predictions for the main card. I hope you guys like our predictions. Like and subscribe.
Don't forget to come back Friday for the final bets and the weigh-in show.
Oh, yeah, check out the Friday show. And yeah, me and Andy O, man, we disagreed on 3 out of the 5 fights in the prelims. But in this main card, we agree on every single fight. It looks like we're going to be doing really good in this one.
Nice.
All right, folks, there you have it. KAMMA, baby, like and subscribe. Peace out.
Hey, baby.